Alright, now welcome to this demo. In this demo, we are going to create a virtual machine. Now, we are going to create a virtual machine. We're going to learn how to create a VM instance using a boot disk image. We will see different image options which are there in the Google Cloud, and we'll learn how to create a VM. So to do that, what we need to achieve or what we need to do is we go back on the same menu, and you can see I have compute engine. And if you don't have it, let's say if you're new to the Google Cloud, you can scroll down here and you can find under compute the compute engine, and I've kind of pinned it because I use it very regularly, so you can use that too, so it kind of comes on the top of it. Now in the compute engine, you can see we have an option for images, and these images are something you can think more of like the if you're doing an on-prem deployment, you would need an image. Let's say if I now deploy an Ubuntu machine, then I will have an Ubuntu ISO that will be used to run that machine. So in this case, let's click on the images. We have some pre-built images that Google Cloud provides us. Let's search for let's say Ubuntu. We're going to search for Ubuntu. Oops, spell it wrong. Now if you see in Ubuntu, the moment we do that, we have all these options which are being provided by the Google Cloud. Now for us, we can choose, let's say the Ubuntu, for example, let's choose this 18.04. 1804 means 18.04. And now I can click on create an instance. I want to create an instance with this image. Remember, the instance is basically the virtual machine that we will be creating. Now for this virtual machine, we're choosing the Ubuntu 18.04 image, and let's click on create instance. And you will see a page where we will have to provide some details. All right, so you can see this page. Now let's give this instance a name. Let's call it as my first VM. You can give it a label if you want to give it. Now the second option is important one. You want to choose a region and a zone, and we've spoken about the region and zones in great detail. So I'm gonna choose and keep it to default. Let's say I'm using US Central 1 as a region and the zone as Central 1A. But the best practice that you should always deploy a VM which is close to your location. So if I'm in, let's say for example in the US, I'll use something which is close to my place. If I'm in India, I'm going to use something maybe, let's say Asia, that should be here. Yeah, as you can see Mumbai. If I'm in India, I will use something with Mumbai. So you can choose the region and zone based on your requirement. Now in this case, you see we are choosing the type of the family, the machine type. If you remember, we discussed about that. So this is a general purpose machine type, which is going to give me 2 virtual CPU and 4 gig of memory. But you can see we have different families here which are available for us for the general purpose. If you click on memory optimize, we have more options. You can see we can go up to 96 vCPU and up to 1.4 terabyte of memory. That's really great in terms of thing. And you can see we have ultra memory option. We can go up to 3.75 terabytes of memory. That's really crazy amount of memory for any application. So in this demo, I'm gonna stick to the E2 series, for example, or I can even use the N2 series. They're based on different versions of hardwares which are available in Google Cloud. So let's choose this one, and you can see I have 1 vCPU and 4 gig of memory for us. In this case, you see the image, the boot disk that we have chosen was Ubuntu 18.04. It's already there. If you want to change that, you can still click on change, and you can change whatever disk you want to use in that case. And if you remember the service account, do I want to enable the access of the service account? So I can say, okay, anything from this VM, if goes, it should have full access to all the cloud APIs which are available. And you can see we have these firewall rules which I can define here. Let's say if I want to allow the HTTP traffic or maybe an HTTPS traffic, I can define that here. And you have certain options on the security side. You can, if you kind of scroll up, you have management options, you have security options, you can turn on secure boot. You can see a disk, that what kind of rule you want to put in there, that if you want to delete the boot disk when this instance is deleted, or you want to kind of secure that disk. So you can define all those settings also in that case. Now for us, we have configured the basic settings which are required, and you can see we are getting an estimate here. That's going to be my $24.86. It's approximately $25 is going to be my monthly estimate to kind of run this VM. That's about $0.034 hourly. It's pay for what you use, that is pay as you go model. It's very simple to do that. We click on create in this case, and if you kind of, let's click on networking. Also you can see it's in the networking where we kind of define that you are using a default network. You can also choose a different network. Remember, we created our VPC, which is a custom. I can actually choose my custom VPC if I want to do that. Now in this case, because my VPC network was created, the region was, I believe, I'm not sure what the region was. I think it was the US, but it's not see because the subnet is not available in this region, therefore I'm not seeing any option. So we'll stick to default one so that everything is fine for us, and you can actually customize your the VM deployment so that you can use whatever network you want to use. If you have a custom network which is precisely designed based on your company organization need, you can use that in that case. Now once all thing looks good for me, I will go ahead and quickly click on create, and my VM instance process has just triggered, and you will see it's in the creation mode for us. And there you can see my first VM is in the creation mode. The zone and the IP address will come very soon when it gets deployed. Oh great, and you can see it, we've got an internal IP address which is coming from the subnet, and an external IP address which is my public IP address, which I can do. Now if I click on this VM, for instance, let's see what's inside that. You can see we get some details about this. We get the machine type, the reservation, the CPU platform, the network interface that's there, the firewall rules which we've allowed, the boot disk image that we've used for this purpose. And if you kind of click on monitoring, you can look at the monitoring details if there's anything, because we haven't done anything. This machine just got launched, so there will be nothing for this scenario. You can also edit certain details, so you can click on edit on this case, and you can go ahead and you can define make some changes if you want to do that. You can add a new disk also if you want to do that. So all those things are possible. You can also add the SSH keys if you want to access it from local environment and you want to have your custom SSH keys. You can use that and put that key in this case to kind of access the VM. So you see, that's how easy it is to launch a virtual machine on the Google Cloud. I hope you enjoyed this demo.